Personally, the sisterhood has never suited me. I have no problems working with men, I have no hang ups about being straightforward, and I am not particularly interested in flirting. That is just not the working relationship I had with my father, and I've found over the years that it removes several layers of impediment at work. The men that want you to flirt with them are so weak that you can easily get promoted past them, so you might as well ignore them unless you want to shag and dump. Yes, Sharifa. I know that there are legions of women out there that believe that they have some sort of preordained association with vanity and keeping their surroundings unpleasantly deodorized, but I have to thank my mother for telling me at an early age that makeup was a con to age your skin and that only boring women dust. Again, this has saved me months of time that other women seem to think is justified, just to conform to other women's expectations. So then, I am going to break the rules further and say, why are you wasting your time fighting for the right to become the online equivalent of a flasher? When men choose to expose themselves, they are regarded as pathetic perverts and reported to the police. Why would anyone assume there is a different rule for women who wish to show us their breasts? If you want to look at breasts, there are plenty of perfectly adequate forums for doing so. I think turning over sexposure into some sort of pathetic feminist statement is a step too far, frankly. A couple of years ago, I spent some time with the men's rights movement on YouTube, as I had witnessed some dreadful cases of female against male sexism in office situations, and I also felt men ought to have some sort of redress in cases of men wanting to work in caring professions, etc. I had a couple of male friends who were falsely accused by women and children, and their lives were utterly destroyed. What I found instead was a bunch of sorely neglected and rather bitter men complaining about things like crazy whores, i.e., women who slept with them, did not like them, and left. If there is a genuine equalist out there, you will recognise the following statement as being perfectly true. Until DNA testing for parents is mandatory and men are forced to take as much parental leave as women, whether they like it or not, equality will not exist. It is simple economics. Given the choice between a moderately able male who will not be taking time off for children or relatives and a very talented female who might vanish for 1 to 10 years for a variety of reasons, you will take the male if you are an employer. Not to mention cultural norms about other forms of caring. There is no question of my brother taking my mother for even 12 hours due to such norms. My brother is an underconfident, overpaid, and extremely lazy guy who has had an extremely fortunate life. There is no reason at all, other than these norms, why he should not take on the care of my mother while I earn my pension. That does not mean it is going to happen. So we are back to this question of compromise. Until women assert themselves, I do not think they have the right to expect it to be done for them. I certainly had no problem in this respect with my first career. It was merely a question of working harder than everyone else, and then a bit more to remove the excuses, which is not that difficult to do. It did not involve freeing any of my nipples at all. Don't you think there are more important things to worry about than whipping your bits out in public? Disease, starvation, corporate dominance over governments, protection of the planet? Or are you stuck in your little house worrying about your little mortgage and your little boyfriend and your little baby and your little job? What is stopping you from worrying about the big things instead of bothering about the petty, boring details of your puny life and your boring breasts?